Welcome back, students. Now we to the session of the classes of industrial biotechnology, and today we are going to start with the microbial growth and death kinetics. Now, why we need to study the growth or the death kinetics of a microbe in an industrial process? The importance of the growth kinetics gives you the information about the duplication time of the microbe, what are the requirements of the microbe for that duration of the growth, and at what instance the microbe starts producing its product. So for that purpose you need to know the growth kinetics of the microbe. Now, if we want to take up an aseptic sterilized setup for the culture processes, then we need to also disinfect the cultures. Now, this disinfection leads to the death of the microbial populations that may possibly contaminate the product or the bacteria or the microbial strains that we are using for the production process. So that gives rise to the study of the death kinetics. So both are very important in the industrial processes. Whether you want to understand the growth kinetics of a producer strain or the death or kinetics when the substrate or the toxin levels are rising in the process, or you want to sterilize or decontaminate or create an aseptic conditions in an industrial process, then the death kinetics of the infecting populations or the contaminating populations also becomes important. So we are going to start with the growth and the death kinetics of the microbes in the industrial setup. Now, the very first thing that we need to understand is how the microbial cell populations grow in the batch culture. Now, suppose we are starting to identify the growth processes, and we take the growth substrate concentration as S, and the initial viable microbial cell population is taken as X. Now, with the time, the growth substrate will be utilized for the cell growth, and therefore over time the decrease in S, that is negative ds upon dt, and a corresponding increase in x, that is positive dx upon dt, occurs. Now this conceptual representation of concentration of the cells, that is the cell number increase in the cell population versus the time for the batch system, gives you a growth curve. Now, if we try to understand this growth curve, then this can be easily divided into 5 to 6 stages. So, this is according to different authors. Some take it to 5 stages, some to 6 stages, or some maybe even 4 to 3 stages. So, here we can identify the lag phase, the acceleration phase, the log phase, the deceleration phase, the stationary phase, and the death phase. Now, if we try to understand or interpret this graphical representation, then we can identify that during the lag phase, when the substrate concentration is maximum, the nutrients have been provided and they are 100% present in the media, then at that time the population growth rate is very slow. So that is your lag phase. The population growth rate is slow. It means that the cells are trying to adapt to the situations of the uh, culture conditions. The producer strain is adapting to the process conditions, that is the variable temperatures, pressures, and the nutrient constituents and all those things. So in that particular time, the cells do not divide or do not multiply. They try to acclimatize themselves in the lag phase. So there is least consumption of the substrate and also the least growth of the population numbers. Then comes the acceleration phase, where now the population starts to grow or increase in number. The consumption of the substrate also rises to some extent, but it is still fairly near the zero levels. So that is, the population is accelerating. This is your acceleration phase. Then the log phase or the exponential phase, that is the phase of the rapid increase of the population. When the maximum substrate will be consumed, the population numbers will be maximum. That both the parameters are uh, going in inverse relation in with context to the time. So now here, next, after the log phase, when the microbes have grown to a good population number, the population starts to stabilize now, and there will be a slight uh, decl- uh, decline phase or a slow growth rate, where they will be coming to an equilibrium state. So that is your deceleration phase, when the nutrient supply is depleting slowly. So the growth of the population numbers will also slow down. After this, there is a relatively flat curve, flat curve, that is a stationary phase. So here you see the two levels, they are almost at the same level. That means the populations are at equilibrium. The rise of the population numbers and the death of the population numbers is almost equivalent. So that is, the equilibrium has been reached between the number of cells that are being created and the number of cells that are dying off. So this will lead to the stationary phase. After the stationary phase, the nutrient conditions have been depleted, the rise in the toxin levels has occurred, and it will result in the killing of the microbe or in the reduction of the cell numbers. So this will be your death phase or the decline phase for the producer strain. Now, if we try to understand this kinetics in mathematical terms or in the terms of equation, then we talk about in terms of the yield coefficient and the specific growth rate. Now, during the lag phase, the dx upon dt and ds upon dt are essentially zero. That I have told you earlier also, that essentially the nutrient supply has been provided 100%, but the microbes are not able to consume it. So, definitely the ds upon dt will be zero. And the growth that you have provided the inoculum, that inoculum growth is also very much limited, because the cells are trying to acclimatize. So in that context also, the dx upon dt will be essentially zero. However, when the exponential growth phase begins, then the dx upon dt and ds upon dt values differ according to the duration of the time that has elapsed. Now, using the corresponding observations obtained just after the onset of the exponential growth phase, we can compute the yield coefficient and the specific growth rate mu. So the yield coefficient is given by y is equal to dx upon ds. That is mass of new cells upon the mass of the substrate consumed. Then a specific growth rate is given by mu, that is dx upon xo by dt, that equals to, that is mass of the cells produced upon the original mass of the cells multiplied by time multiplied by 1 upon time. So this yield coefficient, commonly referred to as substrate to biomass yield, it is used in processes to convert between the cell growth rate dx upon dt and substrate utilization rate ds upon dt. The yield coefficient and the specific growth rate, they can be used to develop the microbial growth kinetics relationships, mostly as monad kinetics, first order kinetics, or as a zero order kinetics. Now we try to understand what is the monad kinetics. Now, monad kinetics, it is attributed to the contributions of monad. This essentially gives you the growth kinetics or how the cells grow in the batch cultures. Now, the cultures can be performed by varying initial substrate concentrations and over a wide range of values. So, the substrate concentrations are variously varied, and the resulting observations of individual mu values correspond to each substrate concentration. Now, monad kinetics tells you about mostly the limiting growth factors, how which substrate concentration will be limiting for the growth of the microbes. So it is mostly given as an expression for a specific growth rate as a function of substrate concentration, and the expression is given as mu is equal to mu max in, in the brackets S upon S plus Ks. So this is given by this particular expression where S is your substrate concentration, mu max is your maximum specific growth rate, mu is your specific growth rate, and Ks is your substrate saturation constant. That is the substrate concentration at half mu max. So, by combining these equations, the first equation that we observed in the last slide, the second equation, we can write the following expression for time rate of change of biomass, that how much the change in biomass occurs with the elapse of the time. So that gives you the relation dx upon dt is equal to mu x0 equal to mu max x0 in brackets s upon s plus ks. Similarly, if we combine the equations 1 and 3, we can write an expression for the substrate utilization rate. At what rate the substrate is being consumed. So that gives you the relation ds upon dt is equal to mu x upon y or mu max x0 upon y in brackets s upon s plus ks. Now, these observations can also be extended to the first order kinetics and the zero order kinetics. So, if the S concentration is less than the substrate saturation constant, then the equations can be approximated as ds upon dt equal to xo mu x upon y in- into kc on the brackets closed s is equal to KBS. So this equation describes the condition where the substrate utilization is proportional to substrate concentration. That is the first order with respect to S. Then zero order kinetics. Likewise, if S concentration is very less, then expression can be approximated as ds upon dt is equal to x0 mu max upon y, and that is equal to a constant. So this describes the condition where the substrate utilization is constant, and with that is the zero order with respect to the S. Now we come to the death rate kinetics of the microbial cells. Now, as I told you, the death rate is important in order to develop standard protocols for the sterilization or decontamination or disinfection of the processes in the industrial setups. So, the goal is to identify if the minimum time that will be needed to achieve an acceptable level of sterilization for a specific purpose. Now, in how much time the microbe will be killed, in how much time will the industrial person be able to eradicate the contamination process, that time will be given by the death rate kinetics. The information will be an interpretation, an outcome from the study of death rate kinetics. Now, the killing agents can be different, maybe heat, chemical, with certain concentrations depending upon the specific application where we need to use the process. Now, when the killing factor is heat, then we can call it as thermal death kinetics. Now, the thermal death time is a concept that you use to determine how long it takes to kill a specific bacteria at a specific temperature. So it was originally developed for food canning and has found applications in cosmetics and in producing salmonella free feeds for animals. Example in poultry and pharmaceuticals. Now, in food industry, it is very important. It helps to identify to reduce the amount of microbes in the products to ensure proper food safety. So there is no food poisoning like things, or no food contamination or deterioration of the food, or increasing the shelf life of the food. So that is this death kinetics is important in those food processing industries. Now, this is usually done by the thermal processing and by finding ways to reduce the number of bacteria in the products. Now, here you can see a killing curve of C. botulinum. This curve represents the DR value 12.6 seconds, that is your decimal uh, death rate, and the 12D reduction, that is in 151 seconds for C. botulinum. The killing agent is heat at 121 degrees centigrade. So you see here that the time, as we go with the time, the number of cells is keeping on deteriorating, and approximately 90% of the bacteria are killed at 12.6 second. So initially here they are killed at 12.6 second. Most of them are killed. So this killing at 121 degree centigrade for 12.6 second results in the reduction of the bacteria up to 90%, or 1 log decrease, that is 1 log 10 value at the given temperature. So the time temperature measurements determines the gives you d value, that is the death rate value. It gives you the d value, meaning at how long it would take to reduce the bacterial population by 90%, or 1 log 10 at a given temperature. This d value reference dr point is 121 degree centigrade. Now, if you want to determine the DR point, uh, or the death rate, then you need to know the Z, or the Z value, and it is the Z value gives it how much time the micro will take to resist the rise in temperature as to keep it growing. So the Z value determines the time values with different D values at different temperatures with its equation that is given here. Z is equal to T2 minus T1 log D1 minus log D2 Z equal to T2 minus T1 log D1 minus log D2, where T is the temperature in degree centigrade. So at this particular time, you can understand, if you have the z values, then you can find out the d values for the particular micro at a particular temperature. So these death curves can be empirically established for all bactericidal agents, that is, whether you are using heat or a chemical or any other substance to kill the microbes. Then this D value is affected by the pH of the product, where low pH has faster D values on various foods. The D value at an unknown temperature can be calculated knowing the D value at a given temperature, provided the Z value is known. So, if uh, you don't know the temperature, at what temperature the D value is being reached, then if you have another D value at a given temperature and you have the Z value known, then you can calculate the D value at the unknown temperature. Now, the target of reduction of canning is 12D. Now I've told you this is important in food processing industry. So we have taken particular example there. The target of reduction in canning is 12D, reduction of Clostridium botulinum. Now that means this 12D means that the processing time to reduce the amount of this bacteria by 10 raised to the power 12, that is the population number bacteria per gram or milliliter. So if you want to reduce this number of population, then the value will be given in terms of 12D, and the duration that is required is 12.6 seconds. The DR for C botulinum by heat will be 12.6 seconds, and the 12D reduction will take approximately 151 seconds as in this case. So if you want to reduce the contaminant at this particular level, then the duration required will be 151 seconds. So this gives you an information how much time the microbe will be killed and in what time you can achieve the decontamination of the processes or the product. Thank you.